So hello guys, so once again welcome to the our FortiGate session. So we are going to do the very initial configuration of the FortiGate firewall. How basically we take the CLI or GIX of the FortiGate firewall in the initial configuration. Let's suppose you're having the any brand new firewall. So in this brand new firewall, how basically you can take the CLI access and GIX of this FortiGate firewall, right? So you can see there is a Fortinet. So this is the products and this is the firewall name FortiGate. Okay, so we'll do the initial configuration. Let's suppose you have the very new firewall. So how basically you can do that when we start, how the firewall is going to behave. Okay. So the first thing, whenever you just have to start the firewall, very new firewall, so there is a license requirement, right? So I'll show how the licensing is going to happen in the upcoming session. Let's suppose you're having the very new firewall and you're just configuring the first time. So how the licensing need to be done? I'll show you the real licensing process in the separate module, right? But today I'm going to show, because this firewall having the pre-built license, and this is not going to ask for the license process. We having a different version here. You can let me show you. We having a two versions of this FortiGate firewall. This is a, you can see there is a 7.25 7.2.5. If we start with doing the configuration, this is going to take a license, and actual licensing we have to do. But right now I'm doing on the 7.0.9. The GUI, everything is going to same. Only license process is not going to be initiated for this particular firewall. So I'll show the separate session how the licensing is going to happen. Okay, so you guys will understand each and everything about this. So now this firewall has been started. So the first thing you can see when we start the firewall, right? So let me just disconnect this cable first. Okay, so there is nothing connected. You can see, just think about, you just having a firewall and you're just having one PC or laptop. You can just change anything, laptop or PC. So first thing, your laptop and PC need to be connected to each other. This is the first step. So if I try to connect, you will see that there is a multiple port, the port 1, port 2, port 3, and port 4. So which ports shall I connect? Which port shall I connect? So by default, we should use the port 1 for the management purpose. But even you don't want to use, you can use either of the port, 2, 3, 4. Or might be we can add more ports as well. But the port 1 having the special feature. Port 1, if you are using the port 1, this port always having DHCP function enabled. Means this port always try to get automatic IP address, auto IP address. Unless you change this DHCP to static. Right? So we'll use this port 1, but definitely we don't have the DHCP server here for time being. Later I'll show how the DHCP server will come in a picture and this port will get the automatic IP address in the upcoming session. But for time being, it's here. There is no DHCP server. So I'll go and I just connect this port. So probably this will not get any IP address. Okay, so for time being, I'm not going to assign any IP address. So let's me open this particular FortiGate firewall. So if I'm opening this FortiGate firewall, you can see here. Let me just move here, here, here. So let me just make a little bit bigger size. Just wait for a while. So its system is just starting. We just have to wait for a few seconds. Then it will start. Just wait. It takes a little bit time. So just have to wait. So you can see now it's getting this real. So you can see here. So now we having this FortiGate. This is the VM64 KVM login. This is the prompt we have right now. So if I try to log in this firewall, so what is the username of this firewall? So by default, username of this firewall, username of this particular firewall is admin. So let me just type admin here. admin. What is a password? No password. No password. Trust me, there is no password in this particular FortiNet. So here, no password. You just have to press enter. Enter. Once you press enter, it is going to ask you. Let me try again. Admin. See, enter. It is just going to ask you the new password. See, I'm just putting the admin again password. Password. So now password has been changed. So this is the first thing you just have to take in your mind whenever you just taking the console access any of the FortiGate firewall. There will be no password. You just have to put the username admin, press enter. It is going to ask you the new password, confirm password, any number name you can put it here. I just put the admin username and password. So now if I'm going to log out, if I just going to, end this, let me just, let me see. Okay. So, see, again, I'm just going to log in admin, admin. So now I'm in again the FortiGate firewall. So here is the command. I want to see what is the IP address configured on this particular port. How can I check that? So, and other interface also. So there is a command show system interface and just put the question mark. And we'll see here, these are the ports. Port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. I told port 1 by default have the DSCP enable, but there is no IP address. It is trying to get IP address from the DSCP server, but there is no IP address. So we just have to give manual IP address. So we are planning to give this IP address here and this IP address here. So they are going to become in the same segment, and then probably we can access. But if I try to assign the IP address of this particular interface, we'll see some error is going to throw to me. So let me just go there. And how can I assign the IP address in the particular port? So let me just go in the config and there is a config system interface. This is the command you just have to go. So I'm in the interface mode and I have to edit the port 1. And this is the port 1 edit. And if I just want to change that set IP address, what is IP address? 172.16.10.1 and subnet mode 255.255.255.0. See, can't change dynamic IP address. So you got, means I'm trying to assign the IP address manually, but it is not taking. Why it is not taking? Because it's a DSCP interface. So we cannot assign the static IP address. So how we can assign the IP address? First, we have to change this mode from DSCP to static. How basically we can change that? So again, let me just show you again. To change the port, we just have to write end config system interface what edit port 1, right? And you just have to change set mode and question mark DSCP static. So you just have to check the static and just put the end. And now we run the command show system interface and put the question. Now you see this port has been changed to a static now. Now if I want to assign the IP address, it is possible. So let me go again and try to assign the IP address on this particular port. So let me just go on the config system interface, edit port 1, right? Set IP 172.16.10.1 255.255.255.0. And if you want to allow some ping, HTTPS or SSH on this particular interface, by default should be there, but if you want to allow, so you just run this command, set allowance ping, you can put the ping, you can put the SSH, HTTPS, or even you want to HTTP, you can allow it. And you want to change the name as a like alias, that's like just nickname. You just put the name, this interface acting as a management interface. So just put this and just end. And now if you run the command show system interface and question mark, you see here this port having the IP address now. If you want to run this port 1, you'll see everything configuration. So this port having this IP address 172.16.10.1. This is subnet marks. You set the ping, HTTP, SSH, and FTP, and it is just acting as a management interface. So now we just done the configuration of the FortiGate firewall side. Now let me see if PC having the similar range of the IP address. So at least we try to. So I can go on the PC. Let me just open in here and let me see. Let me cancel it. So let me just try it. Okay, no problem. So I'll go here in the network center property, adapter settings. This is my adapter IPv4. So this is the IP address you can see here. So we having the IP address 172.16.1.10. So 1.10. What do we assign? 10.1. Should be 10.10. Let me just correct it. Okay, so now it's fine. Gateway, if you want define, you can give. Even you not give, there is no problem, because they are going to stay in the same broadcast domain, so it is going to ping. But if you're giving, there is also no problem. So I just give this gateway and let me just go and run this as a CMD. So this is the IP config. You can see. So let me just try to ping particular. So ping I already allowed here. So ping. If I have not allowed the ping, I would not able to ping. I will show you later. Okay. So let me just ping 172.16.10.1. See, it is responding. But if you just disable this ping, it is not going to ping. Let me just show you. So let me just config system interface, edit port 1, set allowance. Let me just allow these 3 and let me see, there is no ping allow now. So the ping is not allowed on this particular interface. So now if I just try to ping, this is not going to ping. It doesn't mean there is some issue. Connectivity is fine. Only because the ping is blocked on this particular interface, that's why you are not able to ping. So you just have to be very cautious what all services you are. Even if I want to do the HTTPS, SSH, Telnet, it's Telnet, not SSH, HTTP, these all work, but ping is not going to work only. This is what I wanted to convey. So moving next, let me just allow ping again. So config system interface, edit port 1, set allowance, right? And let me just allow the ping again. So now it is, there's no commit concept here. So let me just try to ping again. So it is pinging. So now we allow even the HTTP. So in a browser, we can go and do the HTTPS to this particular firewall. So let me just go on the browser. So I can open any of the browser. Okay. So let me just go here and write HTTPS or HTTP both and put the IP address 172.16.10.1 and hit enter. So it is not responding for some reason. HTTPS. Let me try again. Let me try with the HTTP. Okay, so it looks HTTPS not supporting here because there is license has been expired. So let me just go with the HTTP only. But when we allow the HTTPS service here, let me show again. Show system interface port 1. HTTPS is allowed, but it's still not working. So let me just log in. Username is admin, password is admin. So it is asking to start your initial setup of this particular firewall. So you can begin here. So it is just going to ask what is the host name. So FortiGate, I'll just put the FW firewall. Okay. Now it is just optional, leave it optimal, not optional. And this is the 40 OS 7.0. Click OK. So now we are in the FortiNet firewall. You can see here we are in the FortiGate firewall right now. So if you want to a little bit adjust the screen resolution, let me just do that. So we'll get the motor view, better view. So we can do. So now it's done. So see here. So this is the FortiGate firewall, right? And this is a dashboard. So in this particular, you can see time is out of sync, no problem. So later we'll see, we'll do the licensing as well, and we'll see. But I just wanted to show how this is going to looks like. So you can go in the network and you see the interface. So here you can see this is a management interface, port 1, and this is the IP address. If you want to change the IP address from here, also you can change it. You just have to click here on the interface. And if you want to change the IP address, you can change it. And you want to make this DHCP manual, even you can do right now, it's a manual. If you click the DHCP, so try to get the IP address from the DHCP. Any services, if you want to allow, disallow, you can do from here. So you can see here services allowance, whatever the services we allow from here, we can also do the same thing from the here. If you want to do that, there's no problem is going to happen, right? So this is how it is going to happen. DNS, everything will do the static routing, policy, route, RIP, OSP of BGP, policy and object, how it is going to happen, how the firewall policy is going to happen. So I'm going to talk these all steps one by one in the upcoming lecture. So for time being, we understand how to take the GUI access in the CLI access of the firewall, how the initial username and password is going to configure on the firewall, and how basically we can take the access of this particular firewall. So in the next lecture, what I'm going to tell, I'm just going to discuss about how this particular client is going to take the internet access. Let me just open this lab. Let me see. So, okay. So if I'm just going to on this particular lab, so I'll show you how basically one client is going to take the internet access, real internet access via the Fortinet firewall. Okay, so we'll discuss this one. Thank you so much. Have a great day.